My name is Mike Godette. I am a guitarist and a teacher out of the Southern Connecticut area. So a few years ago, I got really intrigued at the harmonic sounds of a lot of the impressionistic classical composers like Ravel, Debussy, Satie, and so on. And I was curious if any of their harmonic language could be translated over to the guitar. I was determined to see if I can discover any new voicings that I hadn't played on the guitar before. So basically what I did was I would just go through a bunch of piano parts from Debussy and Ravel, and anytime I saw like a little four-note voicing that I thought I could work out onto the guitar, I would just circle it, and then at the end I went through and I wrote out all of the voicings. I figured out which ones could be played on the guitar and which ones couldn't, and then I organized them into 4 sections with major voicings, minor voicings, dominant 7, and minor 7 flat 5, because I wanted to see if I can apply these voicings in more of a jazz context, because I'm really not a classical guitarist, I'm more of a jazz guitar player, and a lot of the harmonies that they use in Impressionism is very jazzy and could easily be put into a jazz context. And I was happy to see that I was able to find a good handful of them, so I assembled them all together and I got them ready for this video. Now, if we move up here, we can do a really pretty major 7 voicing. This was another one that I had never encountered before, but I think I stumbled on this one it was either in Clair de Lune or one of Ravel's piano pieces, but I really love this one. So we put our pinky on B, the 14th fret, then our ring finger on the 13th fret, D sharp, and then the pointer is going to bar on 9 and 9, E and G sharp. Really beautiful major 7. And I like doing them in keys where you can play the open string on the bottom, because it's always great to hear the root note against it, to hear what it sounds like, especially if you're doing a rootless voicing. All right, so intervallically, that's 5, 7, 1, 3. Now that same one that we did up here, this is one that Ravel uses. He uses it as like a minor 11 voicing. So if we think of this again in the key of A, we have the 11, the 5th, the flatted 7th, and then the 11 again. And then when you move them down, it turns into an A minor 7 voicing. Another beautiful movement. He does that again in the 5th movement of Mother Goose Suite. So I got a lot of voicings out of that particular piece. I don't remember every single piece and where all the voicings came from, but there were a couple that were really, informative for me, and that's one of them. So I would recommend checking out the piano version of that. So beautiful. But if we take this A major 9 voicing, if we keep the top 3 notes, but we take our pointer finger and we move it down 2 frets to the 5th fret, we get this really pretty A major 7 chord, inverted. Right, a little bit of a stretch. I really love that sound on the upper 2 notes though, because we get that half step between the major 7 and the root. All right, so certainly not the easiest chord. A little bit of a stretch. It might take some practice, but a chord that I think is worth knowing. All right, now I'm going to do that B minor 11 voicing right up here. Then I'm going to go to the E13 again, and then I'm going to resolve to an A major 9. So the top note voice leading there is